Today our podcast is on the topic of behavioural learning theory.
Because this is such a broad area, we're going to focus in on positive and negative reinforcement.
Our podcast will be based on a character named Jim.
He's a typical Irish lad that enjoys sports and school isn't his strong suit.
We chose to animate our podcast using VideoScribe, and each member of our group incorporated our voices into the video. Hope you enjoyed. Sound.
Jim is just an ordinary teenage boy in an Irish mixed secondary school. Often Jim can have difficulty with his class subjects and has difficulty with his class behaviour. He finds it hard to settle down in class due to failure of interaction with the subjects that he and teachers are teaching him. He also gets bored in class quite easily, and we ran some tests and tried to figure out why he did not get a grasp of the subjects and why he got bored so easily.
Negative reinforcement occurs when a certain stimulus, usually an outward stimulus, is removed after a particular behaviour is exhibited. Examples is, if a student does not study for a test, they will receive negative reinforcement by getting a bad grade. Therefore, the behaviour turns into an unwanted behaviour for the student. If the student studies for the next exam and is met with a positive reaction, then this negative reinforcement and the student will be likely to study for the exams because of the positive response. Another example is, if a student is misbehaving in class, then they will receive negative reinforcement by getting detention. Therefore, that behaviour caused by the student to do an unwanted activity. If the student then behaves himself, they are met with a positive reaction. Then this is negative reinforcement and the student is likely not to misbehave again because of the positive response.
We can see that sometimes using negative reinforcement can have a good impact on the productivity of the student. Often if a student has been corrected, that it takes up time and may have an effect on how other children in class focus. If the child have their concentration to get the best or focus elsewhere, so as teachers we should aim to get the best out of our students. As Tom Peters said, the simple act of paying positive attention to people has a great deal to do with productivity. So now we will look at about how we can incorporate positive reinforcement into our classroom. We will place Jim in a classroom setting where a teacher reinforces him positively.
Jim is in the classroom and is sitting in the back on his own. He isn't concentrating or interacting with the class. He is distracting everyone else around him. The teacher comes up with a positive reinforcement to solve this problem. The teacher does group work with them. This is better for him as the other people will help him get through the work and explain the parts he cannot understand. Another thing you could do is relate the work to the people's interests. Bring real life situations into learning. Talk about sport or social media or anything along them lines. Students will listen more if their hobbies are involved. For example, in woodwork you could talk about hurleys to explain ash, and this will stick in their heads because when they think about ash they will automatically remember your chat about hurling.
There are many advantages of positive reinforcement over negative reinforcement. One of the main advantages is the fact that the student's self-esteem is positively affected when positive reinforcement is practiced, and it is negatively affected when negative reinforcement is practiced. This then causes the student's confidence to be boosted, and then the student believes that they can do whatever it is that they need to be doing. This then brings in a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is where if the student believes that they can or cannot do something, and that belief will come true, they will succeed or fail in accordance with their belief. Also, if the student believes in him or herself, then they will try harder at their work. They will do the extra little bit of work to find out the answer rather than giving up as soon as it gets tough. All of the hard work, the belief and the other benefits come with positive reinforcement.